Hello and welcome to Richard Kohut's Reasonable Rants for, episode number 3. The follow-up to episode number 2, which was all about the legalities of copyright infringement. And as a follow-up, I want to talk about now the reasons for copyright infringement. You know, why people pirate and what pirating actually is, what it does, and how it works, etc., etc., etc. Just because I want to follow it up, and this is important. And it's important to me because I'm a child of the internet. I was born in 1986, and that was basically the internet existed before then. So I've lived my entire life in the internet age. I remember way back in the day, late middle school, early high school, on my basically staying up all night in order to be on my 56K modem on the internet, so that when a call came through, it didn't kick me off the internet because we only had one landline, and my parents didn't want to get DSL or anything. We finally do have DSL, but it's still only DSL, and we're in the era of 4G, etc. But that's another issue. What I wanted to talk about was a couple little reasonings that I had. I made a quick mention in my last video, basically about how with copyright law, there is no distinction between somebody downloading something for personal use. A person downloads a song, pirates a song off the internet in order to just put it in their iPod and listen to that on their headphones, versus somebody who's downloading an entire album in order to burn it onto a CD, print out a label, and sell bootleg copies in a mass distribution network. There is no distinction in copyright law between the two. Let me tell you the reason people pirate. The reason people are pirating right now is, simply put, because of the industry. The industry is not giving people what they want. It is not giving people the ideal ways to do things. We discovered this long time ago on our own, as soon as people became computer literate, and especially as soon as people became media literate. As soon as, a regular old run-of-the-mill geek like myself found out that, hey, I can rip the music off of my CD into this file called an MP3, and that'll basically be a music file that's stored on my computer. I don't need to have a physical CD anymore. I just have this file that's here on this computer. As soon as we discovered that that was basically the best method out of anything we ever tried for not only organizing music, or just organizing files in general, especially organizing media in general, and having it do exactly what we wanted. And this was discovered way back in the late 90s, when people were going, right, I don't have to deal with the hassle of having this massive bookcase shelf, basically, filled with physical DVDs and CDs, and whenever I felt like listening to, say, U2, I would have to get up, go to my CD case, figure out exactly where the U2 album is. Hopefully I've listed things alphabetically, or at least by genre, and then alphabetically. Otherwise I'd be sitting here searching for 5 or 6 minutes going, oh, there's U2. Oh, wait, that's the wrong album. That's not the song I was looking for. I want to listen to Beautiful Day. What album was that on again? I have absolutely no idea. So I'm pulling out albums going, okay, that's not it. Oh, there it is. Open up the CD player, put it in, and then, of course, boom, hit the play button, and then finally there's my song. And then once I listen to Beautiful Day, then I want to listen to U2's Vertigo. Oh, wait, that's on a separate disc. So I have to get back up, go get the disc, find it again, swap out the discs, and then do it again myself. It was, I couldn't think of a really less convenient way to do things. You'd be hard pressed to come up with a more hassling way to do it. Uh, and this is really what users want, especially especially with their media, is they want ease of use. It's the reason why Netflix has become as massive a thing as it has. It's that it's available on all your devices. All you need to do, whatever you want to watch, is just go. Here's the genre it's under. Okay, search by alphabetical. Scroll down the list. Oh, there it is. Play. And that's basically exactly the same thing as what happened when we discovered that we could rip media and put things on our hard drives. Is that all of a sudden there was this one thing, it was called our computer's hard drive, where we basically had a folder labeled either movies, videos, music, and in that folder, all we had to do was move a mouse a little bit and do a click. And all of a sudden, there was all of the music that we had, and what we wanted to listen to was just double click, and it starts playing. No need to get up, no need to search, it was automatically alphabetical, and even better, we could take those MP3s and we could move them someplace as well. We could put that entire MP3 collection on an iPod where, instead of having a CD player where we basically had to carry a whole wallet full of CDs this thick with us if we wanted to, on the road, be able to listen to both U2 and Linkin Park and Spoon and this other artist, we had to carry all those different CDs. Now we didn't have to do that. Now we just had this one device called an iPod. It has everything you have on it, and it's easy to find at the touch of a button. It's great. It's absolutely wonderful. And that is quite possibly the easiest thing to basically thinking, I want to listen to U2's Beautiful Day, and something that's scanning our brains immediately picks up on that, finds the file, and starts playing it for you. That's the only other thing that I could think that could possibly be easier than searching for your MP is then going to your MP3 folder, going to the artist name, double-clicking, and double-clicking the file that you want. We made this massive leap between one way being good and then the next way, or one way being the standard, and then the next way being so much better. And that's what users want, is ease of use. And basically, the industry has not caught up with that yet, even though it's been pushing, 13, 14, 15 years even. The bottom line is, the industry is still trying to sell you Blu-ray discs. Why? Well, because to them, physical media still means something. And not only does physical media mean something, but they also want to ensure their rights to get a paycheck. And this is and I don't want to put this on this direction where I'm focusing on them. I want to focus on the consumers. Because really, again, the reason why people pirate things, there's a couple different reasons for it. And these were probably all brought up in in a trial that would be talking about, reasons why people pirate and, persecuting a pirate. There are a couple different reasons. Number one reason why somebody would steal a song off the internet for free instead of paying the artist is the try before you buy idea. It's the reason why music stores have headphones and artist samples that you can listen to. It's the reason why radio music exists. One of them. The idea is that the person downloads the song because they're not sure whether they want to spend the money on that song or not. They don't know if it's worth it. So they download it, try it, and then they make their decision. Oh, I like this after all. I'm going to buy it. I'm not going to buy it. Number two reason. The person is basically cheap or doesn't have or cannot afford or thinks that the price is too expensive. Basically the if you look at it as an economics reason, it's that they as a consumer have made a decision based off of some reason to not buy the product. But they want the product still. So, what do? It's here available to you for, so they take it. It's a little bit less ethical, but still, I don't personally see that as being all that wrong. There are far worse things you could do. It's not like killing kittens. Um, Third reason is because some people just want to a massive collection, and if they tried to do that the traditional way by buying everything, it'd be impossible. So, but those people are, I think, a very extreme minority. So I don't even really consider them. The fourth is people who have the rationale that I have when it comes to pirating, which is that, and it's the same as Alex Albrecht has said one time, is that I wasn't going to buy it anyways. Again, it's kind of an offshoot of that number two, in that I was not going to buy anything off of you anyway. If you weren't going to make money off of me. I was not going to spend $10 for that Linkin Park CD, because either $10 is too expensive, I don't have $10, or whatever other reason, you weren't going to make money off of me. So, the rationale is that basically I'm not depriving you of anything by getting a copy of that from somebody else. And what's even better is potentially I could get that file from somebody else and suddenly, you know what? This was really, really good. I want to buy that copy and support you anyways. So I then do that. And it becomes part of that first category. And this is what I'm leading into, really. Is that the whole notion of intellectual property theft and the copyright infringement is wrong on so many levels. Because, again, it's file sharing. When it comes right down to it, it's all about file sharing. Nobody out there is, or at least a small enough percentage that I would consider it to be nobody, is stealing a physical copy of, say, music or something, with the intent to share it online for free. Nobody's thinking that. Everybody steals things for personal reasons. They pirate things for personal reasons. Nobody pirates, especially when it comes to media like movies or music. Nobody really pirates for the intent of selling in a distribution. And yes, there are some examples where that is absolutely not true. People will sneak in a camcorder into a movie theater and film a movie and then sell it on the black market on a DVD. But that is also a notion that I've yet to get to, which is the fifth category of people who want this sort of experience and the company's not providing it for them. So they have to take roundabout means in order to get that experience. But that I'll get into later in potentially another episode. What I'm getting back to is this notion of there is no real basis for statutory losses. The idea of statutory loss is basically, as I understand it, and I'm not quoting this from anywhere, this is just my intuition understanding of it, is that a statutory loss means if this person did not steal this, then they would have had to buy it, and this is how much they would have had to pay for it. That's the statutory loss. It is the potential loss. It is not an actual physical loss. Like if I stole, say, a couch. I don't know how I would steal a couch. But if I, say, stole a couch, then they would have lost the monetary value of the wood, the cushioning, the fabric, and the labor that went into it. If I get a file from somebody who shared it with me, who has either a legit copy or got shared it from somebody else who had a legit copy, or however many steps you want to go in between, somebody at the end of the line had a legit copy, and he gave me a copy. How that copy I was not going to pay for anyways? How am I hurting the company? This is the big crux of the argument. And some people say this might be just a rationale, an excuse for pirates to be pirates. And yes, in the cases of the other categories, like the people who are legitimately trying to just build a collection or, or just have the money and don't want to pay, yes, this could be used as an excuse for them. But basically, the main thing is, if I am a huge fan of Spoon, I own Spoon's CDs. I am a fan of Maldroid. I have Maldroid's CD. I am a fan of Yellowcard. I have Yellowcard CDs. I'm a fan of the Matrix trilogy. I have the Matrix box set. I'm a fan of Heroes Season 1. I have the Heroes Season 1 box set. I'm my favorite movie of all time, Stranger Than Fiction. I have the DVD of it. You know, I'm willing to pay for the things that I really do care about and think deserve to be paid for. But the bottom line is something like X-Men Origins Wolverine. I knew that was a crap movie going in. I wasn't going to see it in the theaters. I wasn't going to buy the DVD, and I didn't go to see it in the theaters, and I didn't buy the DVD. They were never going to make any money off of me anyways. But a friend had a DVD. Boop, boop. Here's a copy of it for you. Thank you. I don't see that as being wrong. Because, basically, again, they weren't going to make money off of me anyways. There was no way. Number one. Number two, I wasn't depriving them in any way. They weren't going to make any money off of me in any way. And I didn't deprive them of anything. I didn't deprive them of any labor. I didn't deprive them of any physical things such as a disc or a case or a printout. And I did not deprive them of bandwidth because I did not download a file from them or, whatever other way. I didn't do anything like that. I didn't deprive them in any sort of way except for the fact that I didn't buy something when the only way that I could have gotten it otherwise was to have bought it, supposedly. Does anybody else not see the reasoning in this? Not see the logic in this? The very notion that, every single person who has ever pirated a file would have bought that file if it was not available for pirating. That seems to be their logic. And that is the logic also of statutory damages. That's completely ridiculous. That makes zero sense at all. That's like saying that if somebody was, I don't really know. I can't think of an analogy for that. It's just so weird and stupid and silly. The notion that somebody who stole something would have bought it if they did not have the ability to steal it is basically saying that bank robbers are only robbing banks because they have the ability to rob banks, not because they don't have the ability to get a job and make that money themselves. They're only robbing the banks because they couldn't get a bank account or something like that, it's just ludicrous. It doesn't make any sort of sense at all. And yet, this argument completely flies, and it's the argument that has been backed up by lawyers and the U.S. government. I mean, it's just dumb. And I think that's really what I wanted to get to on this rant. Yeah, pirating is, and of course pirating is, again, it's the wrong word for it. It's file sharing. I don't know of a single method of, quote, pirating that is not based off of one consumer sharing with another consumer. At least in terms of the pirating that, you see nowadays with literally file sharing. That's what it is. It's people sharing files between each other. And it's just completely stupid and naive to think, we live in a social world. I have a copy of a CD. I want to loan it to a friend, or even better, an example is, I tell somebody about this artist that I love, Spoon, my favorite band in the world, and my favorite song in the world, Spoon's The Underdog. I happen to have Spoon's CD in the truck with me. I plug it in, and I expose it, and I basically share with him the experience of that song. Under that, again, it's what I said in the last video. Under this view of copyright, that's illegal. You bought that CD for your own personal use. You are the only one who's allowed to listen to it, to anything on it. And you can only listen to it in this way. You know, you cannot copy this CD for yourself. You cannot copy the media off of this CD. You have to use this CD simply as a playable thing, and that's it. And it's the same rationale that, if applied to video games, would basically mean that all multiplayer, local multiplayer games are illegal, completely illegal, under that logic. Because, if you bought this game for the intention of personal use, that is defined as you alone buying this in order to be able to play it yourself. And if file sharing is illegal, then the notion of me putting that disc into my thing, giving my friend a controller, and letting him experience that game that I paid for me to use, then he is a criminal for having played it, and I'm a criminal for having shared it. It's so fucked up on so many levels. We need to update copyright for the 21st century, for the social world. We can't pretend that the media executives are right when they say that, when you buy this file, it has to be used this way, and it can only be used this way, and you're the only one who can use it. And if you share this file with anybody in any ways, whether you post it online and give it to your friend directly or send it to somebody you don't know, that's illegal. Bullshit, that's illegal. I've paid for a copy, I get to do with it what I goddamn please. If a friend comes to my house and uses my razor blade, is that illegal? I think that's the analogy I want to end on, just because that's a silly analogy and I like it. Thank you for listening. This has been Richard Kohut's Reasonable Rants, episode number 3. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.